Wagner Group chief, and I always call him that because for me it's so hard to remember to pronounce his name correctly. But
Prigozhin.
Let's bring up Prigozhin. Okay,
Yes.
so I'll try to remember that for
Yevgeny Prigozhin.
There you go.
Very Russian.
So I'm going to start with this clip, and this is General Petraeus. It's a very funny name, General Petraeus.
This guy should be in jail.
Portraying us. Yes, he is portraying us. But let's listen what he says months ago about this Wagner Group chief and what could happen to him after what the attempted or supposed coup against Russia. Let's listen.
Here with me now to talk about that and much more is retired U.S. Army General and former CIA Director David Petraeus. Thank you for joining me, sir. I want to talk about the impact on Ukraine in a moment, but let's just start with what's happening inside Russia. A wild 24 hours. What do you make of what happened, and what do you believe it means for Putin standing inside Russia?
Well, I think clearly Putin is weakened. His government is weakened. The irony is that his junior partner in Belarus, Lukashenko, had to bail him out of this. Prigozhin kept his life but lost his Wagner Group, and he should be very careful around open windows in his new surroundings in Belarus where he's going. Clearly,
I wonder why he made that comment, or I wonder if the comment is referencing the United States may do something, or is he saying Russia may do something?
I think he's probably referring to Putin. He's probably trying to. Yeah.
Trying to be pretty with it.
You got to play into that. Putin's evil. Putin, attacks his political opponents. And listen, Putin doesn't attack his political opponents. I don't know that there's a world leader that does not. They're all crazy psychopaths. They're all nuts. You don't reach that level of power without being kind of a psychopath. You have to be willing to do some really awful things to reach those positions of power. So it is a very rare world leader who is not completely awful. So yeah, Putin's done some terrible things, but I think this segment is really just an attempt to push that narrative even more. And I wouldn't be surprised if we did it. So we can.
So this is why I had you on, because that is absolutely along the lines that I'm thinking. Either he's not actually dead and this is just faking his death, or the U.S. is behind it, and because of what happened, they're using it publicly to be able to blame Russia. So there's a lot of different sort of theories we have around this, but I wanted to start here just to show how this was talked about months ago. This was talked about, I can't remember this clip, but Max Blumenthal, he puts not the exact date, but he says last June, CIA Director David Petraeus conjured visions of Wagner chief Prigozhin assassination. Quote, he should be very careful around open windows in his new surroundings. Prigozhin was reportedly killed in a plane explosion / crash today. So I wanted to show that first to kind of get it started out with. And then because a lot of this is just really speculation until we figure out the real story. So I'm just going to be playing a couple of clips here. Here's actual footage of the plane crash. And this is from RT. It says, moments after crash of Wagner chief plane, bystanders captured the moments right after a private plane believed to be carrying the PMC. That's not what you mean. What we call PMC is for the Wagner group. PMC Wagner boss Prigozhin's crash near, I think that's Tver, is how you say that. But let's look at the footage, the supposed footage of the plane crash after. Oops, sorry. There we go.
Крылья, думаешь? Вот там движок. Ты думаешь, второй тоже мертвый? Один весь разорванный, а второй тоже?
You know what's funny, Misty? Not funny in the unusual sort of funny, is that the way they're talking about it as if there's not even a question that this was a murder, like somebody took him out. It's not even a question that this was an accident. Like plane crashes happen, not all the time, but they happen. Plane crashes happen. It's not even talked as if that is even a possibility, why do you think, in particular, our media, U.S. media, is not even talking in terms of this is an accident or possible accident, or even we don't know what happened? The narrative is they took this guy out. Why do you think
Well, that
they're
doesn't suit the
going to
narrative.
that?
That doesn't. They need the narrative that Putin's evil. They need to continue that, so that, and this is just another way that they can perpetuate that. I would not be surprised at all if the CIA took him out. But we also need to be clear that we don't know for sure that this guy's actually dead. He was dead once before, and then he wasn't. So this is not the first time that this guy has been dead. So, and I know that they're saying that it's confirmed. I don't know how much I believe that. I don't know if they have DNA results. I don't know how you could possibly know that for sure at
Can't
this
confirm
point.
that,
But yeah, they
it
just
does
they
look
need the
like,
narrative. They need this narrative.
Yeah, because it was also confirmed that the Hunter Biden story was a Russian plant. That was also confirmed too. So you're right. We can't believe these so-called confirmations, but let's listen to what the Pentagon says. And this is from ABC News. Breaking: the Pentagon, this is an hour ago, the Pentagon confirms that Wagner Group leader Prigozhin died in the Russian plane crash. And let's listen to what the Pentagon says about it.
Still can't confirm that, but it does look like that Prigozhin was killed in that plane crash, according to General Pat Ryder there at the Pentagon. Let's bring in foreign correspondent Tom Sufi-Burridge. He joins me now live from Kyiv. You've been following this from the very beginning. But Tom, he wouldn't get into any detail about how they came to that conclusion that likely Prigozhin was killed. You heard one of the reporters there in the room asking about these Russian media reports, if they are listening to these Russian media reports. Clearly, it's more than that, right? And the general just wouldn't answer that directly, just saying we have a number of ways to validate that we believe he likely was killed. I don't know. It seems like there's still some questions out there.
A lot of questions out there, Kira. I think, the main point here is that it is early days, right? So the Pentagon is being cautious still at this point in time. What they are doing, I think, is briefing the media, getting the message out that one theory, which has been reported pretty widely in the Western press, that potentially a surface-to-air missile or a missile had shot the plane down. The Pentagon is quite...
I did not hear that until this report.
The Pentagon.
This is the first time I'm hearing. This is the first time I'm hearing that.
The Pentagon confirmed, CJ. Believe it.
That's I was just about to get to that. Basically means this is a lie. I mean, You might as well just say this is a lie. The following message is a lie because the Pentagon confirmed it. More like the Pentagon is trying to plant a story or at least a narrative that usually takes you away from the actual source, which a lot of times is themselves. So let's listen. And I don't mean the Pentagon, but I mean the United States empire.
Clearly saying that is false. And Western intelligence, it is clear, if a missile is fired, Western intelligence normally can see a trail, a trace. They have the intelligence to pretty much quickly identify whether a missile was fired and even what type of missile could have been fired. So they're basically taking that theory out of the equation. Now, the most common other theory out there being reported, unconfirmed, is that there was an explosion on board the plane. That's been reported very widely in the Russian media. Now, look, the Pentagon is not being drawn on that. They're not clearly being drawn either on whether or not Yevgeny Prigozhin, the one-time boss of Wagner, presumed dead on board this plane, they're not being drawn on whether or not he was assassinated. But, you have to look at the big picture. Weeks ago, Yevgeny Prigozhin led that mutiny. Thousands of troops.
This is all us just speculating. What is your thoughts on this? You kind of begin to say it in the beginning of the segment. Yeah, in the beginning of the segment. What are your thoughts on this being intentional, this being him being on board, him being killed, if he's killed or not, this being fake, who's behind it? Like, do you have any initial thoughts or feelings behind it, this story?
I think I don't know because we have no real legitimate information. I think everything is very new. Everything is very A lot of it's speculation. Again, this is a guy who was dead once before and then he wasn't, and now he's supposed to be dead again. It's very interesting timing. So I'm not sure really what I think of this yet as it continues to play out. But I think skepticism, 100% skepticism is needed at all times in this situation, for sure. No question about it. Question everything about this situation.
Right, and it's so hard because it's not exactly like we have honest actors in here. Like we can really believe what the media is saying. They're known liars. We can't really believe what these empires are saying, whether Russia or United. We can't really believe anybody, so we got to fill it out ourselves. And it's really that speaks to not just this. That's in everything. There's like people don't have an outlet to get a truth, but Vladimir Putin finally chimed in on it, and this is his video. I may have to read a caption here. I think it's caption. I don't think it's a voiceover. Let's see.
Пригожина я знал очень давно.
So yeah, it's so I'll turn the volume down and then I'll read it as fast as I can. I'm not a fast reader, but we'll see. I have known Prigozhin for a long time. Since the early 1900s.
1990s.
Sorry, 1990s.
Yeah, I read really fast if you want me to do it.
Okay, yeah, if you can, please. Yeah, please do.
Yeah. Can you go back a little bit?
I'm going to go back. Yeah, I'm going to go back a little bit here.
Since the early 1990s, he was a man of difficult fate, and he made serious mistakes in life, and he achieved the results he needed, both for himself and when I asked him about it, for the common cause, as in these last months. He was a talented man, a talented businessman. As far as I know, he just returned from Africa yesterday and met with some officials here. But what is absolutely certain, the head of the investigative committee reported to me about it this morning. They had already begun a preliminary investigation of this incident, and it will be carried out in full. There is no doubt about it. I have known Prigozhin for a very long time. Oh, we're starting over.
It starts over. Yeah. Starts over. So, I mean, it doesn't really reveal much about what he thinks about it. It just, it's a
very
retelling of what he is and very shallow.
Generic. Yeah, it's just a very generic. I've known him for a long time. He's a talented businessman. You know what I mean? There's going to be an investigation. Oh God, Joe.
Yeah, let's hear what he says. Let's see if he sounds coherent. Let's see if he knows.
Say, I know what it's like to die in a plane crash.
All right, so let's listen and see what he says.
I was asked about this by you. I said I'd be careful what I wrote in. I don't know for a fact what happened, but I'm not surprised.
Do you believe?
You're not surprised by what? Again, it's an assumption that
him out.
Yeah, that's the entire assumption that they're trying to push without pushing it. They're trying to say, I don't know, but Putin, you get what I'm saying? They're trying to act like they're not accusing it, but as they're doing
they are.
There's not much that happens when Russia is Putin not behind, but I don't know enough to know the answer. I've been working out for the last hour and a half.
He's been working out for the last hour and a half.